All right. Hello, and welcome to episode 2. This episode, I'm going to actually be talking about the Kajabi podcast product. I'm just going through all of this right now since I'm hosting this podcast in Kajabi. And so I thought I would talk about it because it's a great question. Should you use the podcast product in Kajabi? And I've got a definite yes and a maybe no. Well, probably a definite, a definite yes and a no for that. So it's good to know. First of all, Kajabi Podcasts is really great if you are doing a private podcast, and that's where my definite yes is. And a private podcast is a podcast that people need to basically buy something from you to get access for. Now, there doesn't have to be money attached, but they definitely have to create a login and username in order to get something from you to get access to the private podcast. And Kajabi manages it all very well, which is why I give them a definite yes for that. The private podcast is also very useful if you are delivering a course or are in a membership with some ongoing content through a subscription, and you want to deliver the option for your people to listen to your content through a podcast and not just through the app or via videos or through their laptop or desktop. Some people really love podcasts, and that makes it a lot easier, especially on the go, if if that's what people do. And so the private podcast is great for that. And the way that you do it is through your offers in Kajabi. And the product that you connect that offer to is a podcast. And then when people complete the offer, they get access to the podcast. And it's super simple for them to set up as well. They just get an email from Kajabi that gives them a unique link with a special code in it. And they take that link and they go to their podcast platform. We'll say it's Apple. So they go into their Apple app, and then there is a little button. I think it's 3 bars in the top right, and they click on that. And then it says add a show by URL. You paste the URL in, and then it's there in their library. And that is, that works out just really well. And then all of the episodes you publish get just popped up right in their library. And if you have if you've got like an end date for this offer, or if it's a subscription and they stop paying, then they get Kajabi, of course, cuts off their access once that end date happens or once they cancel the subscription, and they lose access to future episodes of the podcast as well. So that works great. It's also really easy to set up in Kajabi, the product, and it's also really easy just to continue to add podcast episodes into it. Another point is that when you create a podcast in Kajabi, Kajabi automatically makes a podcast page for all of the stuff. So you don't have to really do that. And if you want, you can add that page to your website. You can't edit it as a normal page. It's very restricted, but it's also very functional and clean. And so you don't have to be super worried about that. All in all, 10 out of 10, in my opinion, for using private podcasts with Kajabi. It's super easy and it works great. And it doesn't add very much into your workflow if you're already putting video content into a course product. So there's my big yes. Now the no is if you're going to do a public podcast. And the only reason I'm saying no to this is because there's just really no point. It uses up one of your products in Kajabi, and you can just get a lot more tools and versatility and some really cool features and analytics and all of that by using a third-party platform. And I would just recommend Spotify. They seem to be really good. And so, yes, you can put your regular podcast in Kajabi, but there doesn't really seem to be a reason to, just because you get so much more, and it's also free by using Spotify. So while it's not bad, it's just not the best. And that's my 2 cents about the Kajabi podcast product. So see you next time.